When the clock ticked down to 0 last night, Kachchuck caught Nylander's eye and sent a very clear message. You think that was nasty? Just wait until next game. Bruce, the Leafs didn't just get dragged into a street fight. 4 straight penalties to start the game tell us they actually stepped out first. Is that a recipe for disaster for the Leafs?
Absolutely. I mean, you know what? It was like, okay, we know they're coming. We're gonna go after them first, and that's not the Leafs game. The Leafs game, I've watched almost every game this year as they play solid, play within their own system. They defend well. They take advantage of their opportunities because they got great scores. But when they're right now, they're playing Florida's game. Florida loves, let's get nasty. They feel comfortable in that situation. The Bennetts, the Kachchucks, even though Kachchuck hasn't done much, they feel really comfortable playing that kind of game. And I don't think the Leafs should be dragged into it. They should play the way they play and not worry about the rough stuff. If you remember, it was only a couple years ago where Florida turned the other cheek when the other team thought that they were getting too rough with them in the finals, and it worked. I think the Leafs should turn the other cheek and play the game. Let Florida take the penalties for a change, not the Leafs.
What about Kachchuck and Nylander specifically? Nylander was asked about Kachchuck coming after him, and he just smiled and said, it's going to be fun. Can Kachchuck get to Nylander, or is he just too even-keeled to bite, Bruce?
Well, he'll never fight. But, I mean, you know what? When Domi goes after Barkov, that's when Kachuk looks over and he says, you know what? I'm not going after a tough guy. I'm coming after you. And he may not say anything, but he's going to know every time Kachuk's on the ice because that possibility is always there.
All right, Berube said he's for sure looking to make possible lineup changes for next game. Is it time to take out some of the more physical players and bring back somebody more offensively minded? A guy like Nick Robertson, who hasn't played since Game 2 against Ottawa. Or would that make any difference at all, Bruce?
You know what I mean? We're talking a guy that plays 10, 11 minutes. I don't, you know, it's good if it's going to be a change and maybe and help the third or fourth line, but it's not going to make a change. You know, I mean, they are who they are right now. If there was any changes, if somebody like Matthews or Tavares got hurt and you had to ad lib and put somebody in like that, that's a major change. Or, you know, if one of if Tanev got hurt on defense, that's a major change. But Nick Robertson, like him a lot as a player, but I don't think that's a major change. I don't think Florida's going to be sitting in the room going, oh my God, they're putting him in. We better really step and change our whole game plan. That's not going to happen. So I don't think it's going to, you know, it sounds like it's real good, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference.
Got to ask you about Auston Matthews. Hasn't scored a single goal in the series. He's never scored a single goal in 9 playoff games against Florida. You've coached Ovi. You know what it's like to have an elite goal scorer playing for you, and then he goes quiet. How do you handle that as a coach?
Boy, it's tough because, I mean, there's so many times that I'd be saying, just Auston, keep doing what you're doing. We're winning. We're playing great. But now I think we need Auston to score goals. And so, I mean, he's going to have to just come out of that little comfort zone of thinking total defense all the time. He gets the opportunity. He's going to have to shoot more pucks. But that's what I tell him. I said, you know, same thing as my dad told me. Every time I went into a scoring slump, he said, how many shots on goal you get? And if you said 1, 2, say, that's why you're not scoring. Auston Matthews has got to shoot the puck. And, you know, I used to tell Ovi the same thing. If Ovi went into a little slump, I'd say, I don't care where you shoot from, how many shots are on goal, but get shots at the net. Just shoot it and keep shooting. Eventually you'll score and it'll break it open. If you're not shooting, you can't score. I think we need to see Auston Matthews get 5 to 7 shots on goal. If we do that, we're going to see him score a goal.
All right, speaking of shooting, what about Marner? From Game 4 last round through the opener of this round, he took 10 shots, had huge success. But, Coach, just 1 shot total over the last 3 games. Not a single shot over the last 2 games, and the Leafs lost both. What do you see from Marner right now? What do you say to him?
Well, he's not going to the dirty areas. I mean, that's the problem. He's staying on the perimeter. Florida's letting him stay on the perimeter. And when he's on the perimeter, he doesn't want to shoot. He's always looking to make the pass. But if Mitch Marner wants to score, the same thing is going to have to be said. He's got to go to the dirty areas. He's going to have to take maybe a cross-check, an elbow, something to the head to score goals. Until we see that, he's going to be on the perimeter in Florida. That's exactly where they want him. So, I mean, it's for two things. Marner's got to get to the dirty areas, and Matthews has got to shoot the puck. That's why he's, one of the premier goal scorers in the league that isn't scoring. So, I mean, those are the two things. If I was the coach, I'd be telling those guys. And, I mean, I wouldn't be telling them in front of the guys, but I'd be taking Mitch aside and say, Mitch, this is why you're not scoring. You're going to have to maybe get your face bloodied. You're going to have to get cuts. You're going to get hit a little bit. But the price of scoring is that's what it takes in the playoffs. So you got to get to those dirty areas. And with Auston, just shoot the puck. Don't look to pass. You get an opportunity to shoot. Your shot is so great. Just shoot it, and shoot it some more.
Man, I love your insights, Coach. Listen, you've coached a lot against Bobrovsky. You know he can go really hot and then really cold. He's riding a shutout streak of 84 minutes and 11 seconds. How do you get to him in Game 5?
I mean, the same way you get I mean, the whole thing is you got to make it tough on him. You got to get in his face. If you have to bump him, you have to bump him. But, I mean, look you think Bennett didn't know what he was doing to Stolarz? He could say whatever he wants, but he leaned a little bit more in there, and that's what you got to do. You got to create the traffic around him, and I mean, if he can't see it, he's not going to stop it. And if it happens to get in the way of him, well, you get in the way of him. This is playoff hockey. It's win or go home. So you got to do what you have to do, and all of those guys have got to create some more traffic in front of the net, and they got to get more shots. 20 shots isn't going to do it on this guy. And, I mean, when you get a chance, shoot the puck, go to the net, create havoc. I mean, I saw a lot of it in front of the Toronto net last night. That's what's got to happen in front of the Florida net next game.
The extra day break before Game 5 gives Stolarz a little more time to recover, but after stopping 35 of 37 shots last night, it's going to be hard to move away from Woll, even if Stolarz is ready to go for next game.